Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Central. Thank you for starting this day with us. It's Tuesday, the 28th day of October, the greatest day of the month of October, and you'll find out why in a bit. Should I tell them why?
No, let's keep the cat in the basket.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Olive Emodi, and you're welcome to the show.
It's a brand new Tuesday. It's celebration galore in parts of West Africa and Central Africa because they've said, look, it's a continent for, it's no young men in this continent, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Congratulations to people of the Ivory Coast. Their 83-year-old president just won a fourth term in office, and also just down the road to West Africa. Congratulations to the great people of Cameroon. Their 92-year-old president, about to turn 93, just won an eighth term in office. So congratulations to the beautiful people of Ivory Coast and Cameroon. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. You know the drill. We bring you all the news, information and insights and deep analysis, deep dives into the stories that really matter. My name is Benga Aborowa.
All right, just to also mention that we're streaming live on YouTube. If you'd like to drop comments on any of the stories that we're talking about, go to YouTube, News Central TV, search for us and drop your comments. We want to hear your thoughts on these stories as we share them ourselves. But before I get into the very raggedy news of today, the very annoying, because there's a lot of annoying
it's democracy. It's,
what kind of democracy are we talking about?
Sorry, a gerontocracy. A government for old people.
Well,
yes.
Let me celebrate the only old person in my life. No, not the only old person, but I want to start today by celebrating especially my mother. Today is my mother's birthday, and I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing on News Central if my mother wasn't created. So I celebrate my mom's birth, and I just want to say thank you for being an exceptional role model, mother, and friend to me. I love you, Mommy.
We love you too, Mommy, and thanks for making and creating this exceptional human being.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're a very proud mother when you see the great strides of your mother. It's actually your mom I'm celebrating, not you.
No, I'm saying thank you on behalf of my mom.
Accolades. So where do we start from? Our neighbors to the east.
I think we should start with Kathleen's president.
Why do you put it that way?
So because we have to celebrate our own. Kathleen is one of ours here in News Central. She's our head of digital, and I think that it's very important that we celebrate the fact that she has a president for the 8th term. Paul Biya has, of course, been elected as the Cameroonian president for the 8th term. There's been celebration.
And that makes him, he's been the oldest president in the world.
For the longest
quite some time.
Yes, he's 92? Yes, 92 now.
And it seems there's something about that region, Central Africa. That's where you have Denis Sassou Nguesso in the Congo. You also have a young man that has, not a young man, Nguema, in Equatorial Guinea. He's been there since 1980. So they love their presidents. They like to keep them there for a long time. But not everyone seems to be happy, as you can see in the visuals. There's been protests in Douala over the weekend with regards to the elections. People are protesting the results, and the opposition candidate also claimed victory, but the Electoral Commission and the Constitutional Council yesterday declared 92-year-old, I beg your pardon, President Paul Biya as Cameroon's president.
According to the Constitutional Council, like you mentioned, he won by 53.66% of the vote, and his main challenger, Issa Bakary, came second with 35.19%, with voter turnout being 57.7%. Benga had mentioned earlier that there has been protests in Douala, there's protests in Yaoundé, there's protests in Garoua, and the young people, Cameroonian has a very large young population. They're protesting this win because they do not believe that this win was a legitimate win. What it would seem is that the ruling elite, the CPDM party, the military, the loyal governors, have instead protected what is currently existing as opposed to allowing the will of the people to prevail. So
let's also tell you that the footage you're watching, these are recent pictures, but President Paul Biya has not been seen in public in quite a while. So the pictures of the president, the visuals of the president you're seeing are foul footages. And he didn't even show up for campaign. That's how much the people perhaps love him. There was one campaign that he sent effigies. That's like the
like Halloween.
Bear, something like Halloween.
Halloween,
you get it.
Well, this is his acceptance speech.
Why is acceptance speech in text?
Well,
why didn't he say it? Is he not excited to win an 8th term?
For now, the president is really not in the mood to speak. He's rejoicing and basking in the euphoria of his win. Okay. He said,
President Paul Biya says, at this point in time, when the sovereign people have once again, no, 8 again is not once again, placed their trust in me for a new term of office, my first thoughts are with all those who have unnecessarily lost their lives, as well as with their families as a result of the post-election violence. I fathom the weight of responsibility that has once again been entrusted to me and to the great expectations of my compatriots, particularly those of young people and women. With the presidential election behind us, I sincerely hope that together we resolutely undertake to build a peaceful, united and prosperous Cameroon. We really owe this to our beloved and beautiful country. As president of all Cameroonians, I would like to commend all those who took part in this electoral process that makes Cameroon a true democracy.
Wow.
I wish to particularly extend my sincere thanks to all the voters who chose me.
Democracy wins.
Signed, President Paul Biya, October 27, 2025.
Democracy wins again in Cameroon, but on a much, on a more serious note. What we see here again, the reactions of the young people, Issa Bakary claims that he won with about 54.8%, and this reflects two realities. There is a symbolic defiance. Issa Bakary, in a way, has a lot of support of the younger generation, 70% of them who believe that Paul Biya is a relic of the Cold War. So it's just very interesting to see how elections are still playing out in certain parts of the country, again, of the world rather. Again, young people are waking up and smelling the coffee, being a part of the process. They are pushing back. And I fear that, and a number of people have also shared those concerns, fear of, there's a fear of dissent, a fear of attacks that would spur, that would be born in certain parts of Cameroon because people feel great dissatisfaction. Legally, Paul Biya won, but morally, did he win?
I mean, even the legally is questionable because by all electoral standards, and if you subject the polls to scrutiny, if you listen to what international electoral observers have said,
except the African Union.
Yes, I don't think they will give it a pass mark. But we know the African Union. People have described them as an old boys club. They always protect us. And when the military takes over, like we've seen, in parts of the Sahel, they suspend them from government. But when these democratic autocrats adjust the constitution, remove term limits and remove term limits and violate their constitutions, they hardly have anything to say about that. And we've seen this player. Look, Uganda is going to the polls again. I believe this year.
Yoweri Museveni is going to come back
Museveni
again.
has been there, for over 40 years. You have Denis Sassou Nguesso in Congo. You have Isaias Afwerki in Eritrea. You have look at them. Ngema in Equatorial Guinea, and even the recently elected Peter Mutharika in Malawi is in his 80s.
Well, what we're seeing here and some of the complaints that, apart from the obvious fact that a number of them believe that the system was manipulated in favor of the president, we see here that critics and observers and civil society groups highlighted irregularities such as presence of deceased voters on registration lists, unequal distribution of ballots, accusation of ballot box stuffing. But, like I said
even Mohamed
earlier,
Salah of Liverpool, that was in the Premier League, voted in Cameroon elections. We saw his name in the register and his picture. So it goes to show you the legitimacy of the elections.
But in all of this, it's very interesting that, again, the African Union will adjudge this election as
credible,
as having met international standards. What exactly is the role and the responsibility of the African Union. We must learn to tell ourselves the truth and call ourselves out when things are being done wrongly. It's not just in Cameroon, it's also in Ivory Coast.
Because we make a mockery of this democracy. Because, I mean, how do you explain everything that happened? And also Ivory Coast and other African countries.
But when you bring up the issue again, some of these people who are still in office are people who should have retired and spent a lovely time with their family.
Olive, okay, forget the presidency. As a 92-year-old,
you should be resting.
What should you be doing?
You should be resting, playing with your great-grandchildren.
I mean, you're in cognitive decline. Why would you be at the arms of affairs of a country? Do you know how serious the destiny of millions of people will be in your hands? Except, I mean, there are powers behind the scenes that are just propping him up to be president because of what they stand to gain. I don't think, because I remember him speaking, President Paul Biya was at a function in the United States when Obama was there. And he said, where am I? He wasn't even aware. There was a hot mic situation. His mic was on. He wasn't aware of what was happening. And then his aide told him, there are important people here. So that's clearly a man in serious cognitive decline.
But then is it just about him or the people who are surrounding him who are manipulating?
I don't think he has.
Exactly. Because I don't think he has as much
his wife, family members, and people who are manipulating.
The people around him who are probably manipulating this in
at the expense of millions of people.
Exactly. Because what? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Whilst Paul Biya hasn't yet come out to celebrate his win, we played a clip earlier. It's a clip of his commissioners who were celebrating, his win. But let's head now to social media and see what Nigerians are saying about Paul Biya's win on X. Maybe not just Nigerians, generally, what is being said about it on X. Tan Mani Patricio says, you know very well the truth, sir. But since you have proclaimed yourself as elected president, there's nothing the people can do. That's why the towns have been on semi-ghost, places closed, no jubilation. What does that mean to you, Mr. President? The Cameroonian people are sad. This is the reaction. No, we never placed our trust in you, Aqua's Gwen says. There is nothing you can do for us in the next 7 years. You had 43 years, but you took us back to the 90s. We need jobs, we need roads, we need development. And you have failed to make this country grow. Please, release us from the bondage. Oh.
I'm wondering if he will go for a ninth term. By that time, he will be 99 years old. And I wish him well in his next elections. Okay. Sir says, imagine a 92-year-old promising the youths that there's a bright future, yet he clung on to power for close to 5 decades.
My goodness.
The irony. In Yesiga, Frank Pat says, surely our African elders betrayed us. How can this man be declared a winner? Someone that can't even support himself while walking, can't recognize people, Africa, who bewitched our land.
And we have another one. Jagaban official says, 1, no. Declared himself winner through the Constitutional Council, who are on his payroll, yes. And that's...
I guess that sums it up.
Yes. Yeah. And that's really the conclusion of that story.
Because in Cameroon, there are different layers. There's a commission that conducts the election, similar to our INEC here. And then there's another commission that vets the elections. And then the final responsibility of declaring the winner lies with the Constitutional Council. And that's why he made that statement here. But what can we do? We continue to watch and observe how things play out in Cameroon, and we can only wish the people, the good people of Cameroon, well. Okay.
All right, let's now move from that to our next story, bringing it back here in Nigeria, still on Nnamdi Kanu's case. A quick recap. Recall that the last time we talked about Nnamdi Kanu here, his lawyers, he had of course rejected their defense and had chosen to defend himself. There's been the protest in support of his release, but now Nnamdi Kanu has declined defense and has again now insisted that there is no case against him. Recall that he was granted bail, but was set to jump bail, but his defense was that his home was being invaded. He was being attacked, people were killed, he survived, and he fled for his life. It was in that moment he went to Kenya and then was brought back to Nigeria, a process that has been referred to as a kidnapping and an illegal extradition. But let's take a look at what Nnamdi Kanu said, and then we'll come back to speak about it.
Somebody standing in trial or coming to try me is a terrorist. That's what their law says.
As simple as that.
Not me.
As simple as that.
Section 2, subsection 3F of Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act. That's what it says. Any court considered to try me is committed an act of terrorism.
Yes.
Very clear. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then come to try that very person is not done anywhere in the world. So you must be aware of that. Yeah. So that is why there is all these ridiculous delays. That is what Supreme Court said. I did not jump bail. My home was invaded. They came to kill me and I survived. They came to Kenya to kidnap me, brought me back to this country and seeking to try me, which the law says cannot happen. You cannot violate a treaty that Nigeria entered into and then hope to stand on that illegality to conduct a trial. Is not done anywhere in the world. And it will happen in my case.
So it seems, I mean, every other day there's a new twist and layer to this case, and it's just unending, one drama or the other. And we really, I mean, I have no comments at this point, but it would be nice to hear what Nigerians are saying about this.
All right, we'll come back to share our thoughts, but like Benga said, let's hear what Nigerians are saying.
Mr. Wale says he is wiser than the judge and the prosecutor. The Court of Appeal has quashed the terrorism charge against him. Why are they still trying him on a charge that has been quashed? So it's correct to say there's no case against him, says Mr. Odushola Wale. Tobin Panel says, this man is a descendant of Solomon. His wisdom is confusing the entire judicial system in Nigeria. To him, he's using them to catch fun because, truth be told, they don't know what they're moving towards.
Well, okay, 2 words. All right, that's Tobin Panel. This one says, if there's no solid case, release him and move on. If there is, then prove it in open court and let Nigerians see the evidence. You can't keep detaining someone for years without closure. It's either justice or oppression disguised as national security. And we have more tweets.
Maximus Caesar says, so laughable. I thought it was stupid enough to open a defense case. That was a trap set by federal lawyers. Once you open your defense, then the issue of rendition becomes irrelevant. Well, either way, it's a win-win situation for the federal government. He says, 1, Nnamdi Kanu opens his defense, he goes to jail. 2, Nnamdi Kanu refuses to open his defense, he still remains in detention, semi-jail. And I ask again, what's the sense behind him sacking all his lawyers that he wants to defend himself? And he concludes by saying it's just wasting his time.
Okay, and that's and then familiar spirits. Wow, what a name. Where the people where they happy say name Wiki and Malemi for a witness? Man, when if it open in defense, later them go say federal government and they delay in case. Interesting there. And that's all that we have. So again, the question is, Nnamdi Kanu does have some sense in his argument to the point that you can't put something on nothing and expect it to stand. If Nigeria is part of a treaty and, you know, Nigeria has then on its own part not upheld its own end of that treaty, and you flouted the laws guiding that treaty, then maybe your hands are not as clean as you would like to present. A Kenyan court, a sitting Kenyan court, had granted in a judgment that the extradition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya was legal, and not just a Kenyan court, even here in Nigeria as well. So the court in Nigeria had said that the lower court lacked jurisdiction because his extradition from Kenya was illegal. The reason why he ran to Kenya in the first place is, like he said, that his life was under threat, that he was attacked, he escaped with his life. And that doesn't seem to have been a logical argument. Again, many have said that the solution to Nnamdi Kanu's case will be a political solution and not a legal solution. We've been on this matter for the longest time. The people in the southeastern part of Nigeria have spoken, and you know there have been promises, even from the governors in southeastern Nigeria, have said that the sit-at-home order and all the drama that's happening in the southeast will be resolved if Nnamdi Kanu is released. And one struggles to understand why it's easier to forgive the terrorists and the bandits who want to be, quote-unquote, de-radicalized. Their children are given education. They're brought back into the society. In fact, some of them give press releases and are warning the government not to trespass into their territory, not to attack them. If not, they will come back in full force. And then this one man,
I mean, carrying out acts of terrorism in the
actual
open.
acts of terrorism
in the
with
open.
weapons, actual acts of terrorism. So one wonders.
I mean, the argument of the government is that the charges are very serious. They border on treasonable felony and also terrorism. So they would let the court decide. But I mean, like others have said that have appealed for clemency on his behalf, that, you know, if you can forgive terrorists and bandits and all those people, why don't we have a political solution?
Because the Attorney General can discontinue that case
exactly,
today.
It's been dragging for too long. But
and then they will have a conversation and decide what the way forward is.
We'll continue to see how this plays out.
All right. We'll move on from there to another conversation, and this time around, the governor of Plateau State has said that he is under pressure to join the APC. It reminded me of the song. You remember that song? Under Pressure. Under Pressure, Miss Amy, Under Pressure. Let's take a look at the video.
Only 2 people will authorize me. It is not a lie that they also put pressure on me. But I told them, only 2 people will authorize me to change party. One is the God of heaven. The other is you people. Have you asked me to go anywhere? No. Have you asked me to go anywhere? No. So those who are rejecting me for what I did not look for, you know, they are doing a useless exercise. And they are only hiding their desire. They are only hiding their desire. The truth is that 60–70% of the people in APC on the plateau, I make bold to say, they will be glad to have us in their party. It's just that they are biting their finger. Musambaze is over. That's why they are angry and trying to twist it. And if anyway, let me leave it there. It's a story for another day.
And there you have it. He's talked about the pressure to move to the center. Lately, we've been seeing a lot of alignment with the center. A lot of governors moving to the center, some of them even mandating the members of the Executive Council to as well move to the center. So Governor Monday Okpowolo of Edo State had mandated that any of his members, you know, those coming for their council meetings, they must all wear the Ashuraju cap, which is the cap that the president wears that has the infinity logo representative of allegiance to the president.
The chairman of the state,
Jared Tenebe.
Yes, also doubled down on that.
Yes.
So, you know, it wasn't just a mere statement that they should wear that cap.
No. Let me tell you what was said.
Yes,
he said that any commissioner sent out of the State Executive Council meeting for not wearing Tinubu's signature cap will be suspended from the party.
So if I wear a suit, I still have to put on the cap, even if it's not fashionable.
Oh my goodness.
Things are happening.
No.
And for the governor of Plateau State, I mean, if you want to defect with your full chest. There's no need to say you're under pressure. After all, we've seen governors that have been in traditional PDP states since 1999 make the bold move to defect. We understand the political terrain we're playing in. And
so are you saying that this one is initial gra to let
like
them
Governor Diri of Bayelsa State, he says he's about to defect, and it was, I mean, what people would describe as cold feet. He was catching cold feet. But he's yet to make the move, but the feelers are that he will move. Just like we heard rumors of the Enugu State Governor, Mr. Peter Mba, who has finally moved. So these two are the next in line to make that decision. And if I could take a wild guess, another prediction, I'll look at Governor Jackson Ademola Adeleke of Osun. No, that's going to be difficult because of the situation with APC in Osun State. It will be a difficult move. But Governor Diri and Governor Mutfwang of Plateau State are very likely to move before the end of the year.
That's your prediction. So your prediction is that Governor Doyediri and Governor Caleb Mutfwang, who moved to the APC.
And on the 1st of January, call me Prophet G.
On the 1st of January, we're going to review.
Call me Prophet G.
Prophet G, okay. But I just want to also quickly address what you made reference to, Jared Tenebe of the of Edo State, who had said that any member who doesn't come will be suspended. I wonder when our elections and our politics have been reduced to the point where you analyze commissioners' performances based on the absence of a logo, of a cap that has an insignia.
I mean,
shouldn't it be about your deliverables?
A personality cult, and this is the highest level of sycophancy you could ever think of, that you suspended a state appointee because he didn't put on a logo or a hat with the logo of the president's personal branding. What does that have to do with governance?
That it shows allegiance to the government, and that how dare you be
how have we reduced ourselves to this level? This is very shameful.
He says that it reeks of insubordination, that the Governor Monday Okpebholo, will give out an instruction that every commissioner should wear the Ashiwaju cap, and then you don't wear this. And I want to say this, that if our politicians can apply the same level of fangirling that they do to the president, to how they do their work in terms of being able to say, I want to deliver on these KPIs, I want to ensure a better quality of life for my people. If they're able to say, if you don't do this and that, you will be suspended as a commissioner.
We'll see a marked difference in their lives.
Then Nigerians will be able to applaud you. The same level of enthusiasm that they used to tell them, if you don't wear the Ashiwaju cap, you will be suspended. They should apply that same level of enthusiasm to ensuring that they see to it that every commissioner delivers on the mandate that they are meant to.
The same level of enthusiasm Governor Monday Okpebholo has used to promise the president 2 million votes in 2027 should be used to fix the roads in those states so they don't get stuck in when it rains and stuck in traffic. Yeah. All
right. Let's quickly see what Nigerians are saying about Governor Caleb Mutfwang, saying that he's under pressure to go to the APC. Opayemi Akinyode says the journey has started. This is an absolute self-opinion sampling. When do the people start to matter? When they want to the camp? The stake is higher in Plateau now. The opponent of Governor Mutfwang in the last election is now the national chairman of the APC. The gas me is on. That's Opayemi Akinyode. Yeah. The next tweet we have this morning, it says, this one don't sign pre-contract since 2023. Now release clause with a way to make them activate. All the statement is just to make excuses for his pending transfer move to APC after kissing the ring. The next tweet we have, still on the matter of the pressure to join the APC, Emmanuel Manven says, whether you believe this man or not, but as a Plateau man, I can say, even if you bring Alex Oti to contest under APC in Plateau State, he will fail. Go and do your research. That's what he has to say about this. What you are supposed to ask yourself is, will joining APC stop the massacre of your people? Of course not. Skeptical says in regard to this. The national chairman of the APC and the APC Plateau State chapter has pushed Governor Caleb Mutfwang to the wall to reveal to the world that there is nothing like the governors are decamping to the APC because of the good work of Tinubu, but that the governors were pressured to join. Yahuza Hamza says, that's another valid angle. When you are not a boy, stop telling us stories. They look for assurance for second term. Sheyi Ajayi says, these are the tweets we have this morning regarding the governor of Plateau State saying that he's under pressure to join the APC. The more pressing matter is that his people are being killed in their numbers and that there's a security challenge upon his hands that needs to be fixed. We need to set aside governance. To Governor Caleb Mutfwang, to Governor Caleb Mutfwang, Governor Monday Okpebholo, Janet Tenebe, and all the people who are talking about politics and political parties. There is actual governance that needs to happen, and that should be the core of the conversation, not about your political party. Nobody really cares. Let's now share with you what our headlines are this morning on Breakfast Central. Top stories this morning on Breakfast Central. We are analyzing governance in Lagos State, speaking with former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Mrs. Koporola Bucknell. PDP postpones screening of aspirants ahead of National Convention, which is quite interesting. Experts hail Nigeria's grey list exit as win for transparency. Congratulations to us. House of Reps pledges to strengthen ties, Nigeria diaspora ties in particular. And we will be reviewing the newspaper front pages. Join us for all these and more.